Governments of Dominica and Chile sign agreement for visas free entry for holders of diplomatic and official passports. The nation's leader says no major cuts in 2014-2015 budget. And the Alpha Center officially launches its week of activities. Thank you for joining us for another edition of National Focus. I'm Colette Ambo. Stay with us for details of the headline stories and others after this.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is two courts in one? The CCJ has two functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely, and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Thanks for staying with us. An agreement has been signed between the governments of Dominica and the Republic of Chile for the exemption from visa requirements for holders of diplomatic and official passports. At the second CARICOM-Chile Joint Summit in 2012, it was agreed that to facilitate a movement between Chile and the CARICOM member states, an agreement on visas waiver exemptions for holders of diplomatic and official passports should be concluded between Chile and the member states. The embassy subsequently submitted a draft agreement, and on October 30th, 2013, Cabinet advised approval for the signing of the agreement. The official signing of the agreement took place on Monday at the conference room of the Ministry of Finance.
It is very important to sign this document because it is going to allow the Chilean diplomats, especially in my case, and it's going to allow to the diplomats of Dominica, both of us, to travel to Chile and to Dominica with no diplomatic or official visa requirement. As you know very well, in these last years, diplomatic job is being changed. I mean, we have to move a lot, and we need to travel a lot, and so many times we have to do it in the last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. We cannot plan it as we like it to. So this is a very important agreement for my country.
Minister for National Security, Labor and Immigration, Honorable Alvin Bernard, who is also Minister of State in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, says Monday's signing was a major step in the continued relations between Dominica and Chile.
We need to respond to various initiatives in our aspects of development, sometimes at a moment's notice. And it's important that we remove every possible hindrance for the free movement of our officials. There are cooperation activities in a number of areas, all of which are very important to the commitment given by the government of Dominica to its people. And the Chilean government has made a commitment to support the government of Dominica in that regard.
The nation's leader and finance minister, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, revealed to GIS that in his upcoming budget estimates, Dominicans will not face any major fiscal cuts. This announcement, the Prime Minister says, is notable in these tough financial times.
We have not been spared by the global economic and fiscal crisis. Dominica has been affected. We have seen a reduction in our revenue. But that notwithstanding, we have not sent home one public officer. We have not reduced the salaries of public officers. We have not cut back on our social safety net programs. We have maintained those. We have not cut back on our housing revolution, seeking to assist people to have more than a washroom or to have a home. We continue to invest in agriculture. We continue to invest in education and health. I mean, matter of fact, our budgets for education and health have increased during the last financial year. So we won't see any major cuts in any of those ministries. As a matter of fact, you will see us moving ahead with many exciting plans and programs.
Honorable Skerrit further stated that his government's policy of financial prudence will be maintained throughout the next financial year and will be evidenced in the 2014-2015 budget. We
have to ensure that we maintain prudential limits and we stick within the prudential parameters. Because managing the economy of Dominica is a very difficult task. And if we tinker with it unnecessarily or against the realities, we will very well find ourselves in a situation where we may have to go back to the IMF and our international partners to have a program, because the situation is very delicate, and therefore prudence and responsible approach towards preparing the budget and taking into consideration all of the issues which one has to deal with are key elements of preparing the budget.
Importantly, the government leader emphasized Dominicans will see no political tactics in the budget estimates.
Notwithstanding the fact that we're in an election year, and certainly elections will be held during this fiscal year, 2014-2015, you still must not allow that consideration to lead you in preparing a budget that's unrealistic. So we'll continue to maintain our prudent and responsible approach towards the preparation of the budget. So we're not going to be politicking in this budget. The country is too important and too much at a delicate stage for us to tinker with it for any apparent political gain.
The Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation says public response to its waste sorting and recycling initiative is very encouraging. In February, the corporation launched a test program which allows for consumers to sort their waste for efficient recycling at the landfill. The pilot program was rolled in communities on the Atlantic side of the island and then in Bath Estate, Elms Hall, and Santa Roma. On Monday, General Manager of the corporation, Florian Michel, told GIS News that consumers have gotten on board.
We get concerns from the general public, not just in those areas, in other communities. People say, well, you have the system only in those areas, and what are you doing in our community? So by that, we could say that the public actually want to participate in the whole process of recycling. It's just that because of the truck we have, it is not feasible to collect all the communities living in the island. So that is a positive sign that the people are aware that we are doing that, and that other communities want to be on board.
The island's corporate citizenship are also indicating their interest in a cleaner and more eco-friendly Dominica.
A lot of people called, not just household, even the business sector. They call and say they want to participate in the whole initiative. And to me, it's a good sign that, because solid waste responsibility really is to collect garbage from the household level. Any commercial activity based on the Solid Waste Management Act, that entity has to find their own method of disposing of waste, whether they contract solid waste or any private contractor. And then to hear a few of them call and find out, hey, how can we participate, what can we do, can we put it out, will you collect, you know? And we also offer a service in town where some of the businesses in town, instead of using your paper waste and getting rid of it, you could call solid waste and solid waste could come and pick up that paper, so you don't really have to put that out for collection. So we do a lot of things.
The current arrangement is that general waste is picked up once a week, with the following week designated for recyclables. The recyclable waste is bagged in clear plastic bags, which are available at Village Council offices and the offices of the Solid Waste Management Corporation. We'll bring you more from that interview in a subsequent newscast. On December 5th, 2014, Dominica will observe Public Service Day under the theme, An Efficient Service, a Sustainable Future. The day will focus on highlighting and rewarding outstanding performance and behavior of public officers. This year, several social, educational, and community outreach activities such as hikes on segments of the Waitikubuli National Trail, a talent night, outdoor games, and a church service will precede the official celebration of Public Service Day. Public Service Day 2014 will be formally launched on Wednesday, June 25th, 2014 from 10 o'clock a.m. at the Fort Young Hotel. A number of government officials and senior public officers are expected to deliver addresses and an overview of Public Service Day activities, and performances by public officers will also complete the items on the program. GIS News will bring you more on this upcoming event in a subsequent newscast. In more news, the Alpha Center began its celebration of 40 years of existence today with an official opening ceremony to begin a week of activities. President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savre and Mrs. Savre, as well as other dignitaries, attended the event at the Alpha Center grounds in Goodwill. Minister for Education, the Honorable Peter Seja, commended the founders of the Alpha Center for their dedication and foresight.
It took the vision of a dedicated and caring group of individuals to establish the Alpha Center, to bring a process of transformation and almost eradication of these terms, together with the recognition that children with special needs have the ability to learn and to become productive members of society.
Minister for Social Services, the Honorable Gloria Shillingford, noted that institutions such as the Alpha Center has changed the system of educating special needs children.
Traditionally, children with special needs were neglected, hidden, and deprived of the opportunities to attend school and socialize with their peers. It is institutions like the Alpha Center which have opened doors to them and paved the way for their integration into society and the corresponding acceptance of them by society.
The Honorable Prime Minister, who is also the Minister for Finance, assured the staff of the Alpha Center that allowances will be made in the 2014-2015 budget to cover the full operating costs of the Alpha Center.
Come September, the challenges which you've had in putting together the resources to operate this very important institution will be something of the past. The government, and as Minister of Finance, I have ensured that in the budget coming up in July, you will have the full operating cost for the Alpha Center in the budget. And this will be for as long as the Alpha Center is operating in Dominica.
Gifts were presented to officials by students of the school. And that's it for the English segment of National Focus. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, Alpha Center a célébré 40 l'année depuis l'institution qui existe. Cérémonie pour lancer l'activité célébration là, prend place bon matin là. Président His Excellency Charles Savren et Madame Savren, Premier Ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, Ministers Honorable Peter St. Jean et Gloria Shillingford attendaient cérémonie là où le programme l'a lancé. c'est officier gouvernement là complémenté Alpha Center pour bon travail à yo et de chéné guillon qui n'est désabilité. Ministère de l'Éducation, Honorable Peter Saint-Jean, fait parole importance institution là.
Avant Alpha Center a commencé à travailler ça là, ces enfants ça yo pas de aller à l'école, moun te ka garder yo comme si yo pas ça fait rien en société. Véritablement, mon cas est en ordre pour nous complimenter Alpha Center et particulièrement l'Église catholique qui travaille avec ces enfants ça yo pour essayer de faire pep société qui ça fait quelque chose, qui ça fait contribution pour le développement pays là. Et mon cas aujourd'hui c'est un grand jour. Là toute Dominique ça mettait en tension enlève ces enfants ça yo et travail là et où est en exhibition à yo ni qualité travail là qui yo ka fait ça veut dire que réellement quand nous ka dit en ministre éducation chacun enfant ça fait bon succès en pays là.
Autre nouvelle, travail développement qui prend place en Wharton-Waven à présent. Parole ça là sorti hors de mon parlement, Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre.
Nous avons fait un neuf chimie, nous avons aller côté un cocktail pour des docteurs. So, nous avons fait chimie ça. Là, c'est une place qui est plein de l'eau. So, une qualité chimie ça, c'est parce que c'est une différente qualité chimie nous faire pour la vie. So, nous avons regardé ça actuellement. Nous avons aussi nous avons mangé un petit bridge là cassé avec nous actuellement nous pièces fini comme mettre wing là comme le monde ça aller comme si sorti Wharton-Waven pour aller côté Kaiche et puis ça qui est de yo avec yo c'est place qui est en loti glocho monde tout monde hodom yo ka monter là porti glocho yo faute d'eau yo tout c'est ça bon pour yo avec nous quand il y a hydrotherapy so in your low traffic là so nous les manger chimie parce que tout ces monde là qui a sorti roseau pour un petit glocho yo la nuit moi aider là aussi tout.
Autre nouvelle, ministre employement Honorable Dr. John Colin McIntyre qui a fait parole succès meeting conseil ministère des affaires économiques affairs qui était pour place en Saint-Lucie. Dr. McIntyre qui était chairman meeting là fait parole qui a discuté growth and development strategy OECS ensemble et puis policy éducation OECS. Meeting ça la chaîne on l'est pendant pays OECS qui a expérience difficultés. Développement secteur privé, programme stabilisation East Caribbean Central Bank aussi tapé attention. Ministère McIntyre dit la telle a changé, consent est bien nécessaire OECS, mettez mise en place, soulager l'économie ailleurs. Finalement, division certification ministre agriculture a avisé habitants, mise pour mettre en place, qu'a consigné Dawi en temps cyclone là. Parole ça là sorti votre officier certification Joseph Blankford.
Ta cyclone là, ça nous a fait, nous a parlé ba plater, tout type plater, parler ba yo di bité yo ni pour mettre à place, pour minimiser les dommages yo qui tapé hot windstorm si nous ni un cyclone qui a affecté nous. Et ben nous a parlé quoi ça yo ça fait pour réduire à ça. Là on a parlé quoi bité ko plantation, on a parlé de drain, ça va qui est drain, à la plantation pour faire cette drain là, nettoyer propre, quitter propre, tirer toutes les ordures, toutes les bois, toutes les bêtises qui ont bloqué ces drains là, c'est pour faire cette gloire ça sortir de la plantation là à l'air. Et bien manière on a fait canal là pour faire cette canal là ça tirer quantité de l'eau ou quoi taper les cyclones.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, c'est Luce. Au revoir.
Coming up, tips for your children on stranger danger.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is two courts in one? The CCJ has two functions, an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
in-studio discussions, insight, Creole News, Road to the Throne, Calypso, Creole Festival, Carnival, and lots more local programming. See it all on the Government Information Service, your first for local news.
Summer is fast approaching and soon children will be home free to roam the streets and play in their yards. Now, more than ever, as there are no extra pairs of hands and eyes watching over your children, it is important to teach them the basics of stranger danger. Parents, ensure your children know these rules. Never approach or talk to a stranger that comes into the yard. If a stranger comes near while playing in the yard, be sure to call out to your parents. If someone makes you feel unsafe, go back inside and tell your parents immediately. And always play in an area where your parents or guardians can see you. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.bm. Look us up on facebook.com/GIS News Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Colette Ambo. Thanks for watching.